Discipline is not simply doing what you want in the moment. It's the ability to make sacrifices, to delay gratification, and to resist fleeting impulses in favor of something greater. True discipline isn't about luck or convenience. It's about making conscious decisions to forego immediate pleasures for long-term rewards. Those who succeed in life are not just reacting to their desires. They are bargaining with the future, making calculated trades of temporary discomfort for meaningful, lasting gains. In this lesson, we'll explore the Stoic philosophy behind discipline, how ancient thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus approached self-control, why it's essential for a fulfilling life, and how you can start cultivating discipline in your own life today. Let's dive in. The Stoics believed that discipline wasn't just about physical restraint or forcing yourself into routines. It was a fundamental principle of life, deeply tied to reason, wisdom, and self-awareness. For them, discipline was not a burden but a gateway to freedom, inner peace, and a life of virtue. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies the concept of self-mastery. The Stoics taught that a person cannot control the world around them, but they can and must control themselves. Epictetus, a former slave-turned-philosopher, famously said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Discipline in this sense is not just about resisting temptations or adhering to strict routines. It's about aligning your actions with your values, even when your emotions pull you in the opposite direction. It's about saying no to fleeting desires so you can say yes to something greater. Imagine this. You wake up early to work on your goals. Your mind urges you to stay in bed, enjoy a few more minutes of warmth, and avoid the discomfort of facing the day. But discipline steps in. It reminds you of your commitment to yourself. It reminds you that this small sacrifice builds a greater future. This is the essence of Stoic discipline, self-control in action. For the Stoics, reason was the tool that separated humans from animals. Animals act on instinct. They eat when they're hungry, run when they're scared, and rest when they're tired. Humans, on the other hand, have reason. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Discipline is the application of reason over impulse. When you face a choice between immediate pleasure and long-term benefit, reason steps in to evaluate the consequences. Impulse says, "Skip the workout. It's uncomfortable." Reason replies, "The discomfort is temporary, but the benefits are lasting." When you allow reason to guide your actions, discipline naturally follows. You don't act out of fear, laziness, or fleeting desire. You act out of clarity, purpose, and intention. Key takeaway: discipline isn't just about saying no to something, it's about saying yes to what reason tells you is truly valuable. One of the core Stoic principles is the dichotomy of control, the idea that there are things within our control and things outside of it. According to Epictetus, some things are up to us and some are not up to us. When it comes to discipline, you can't control every outcome, but you can control your effort, your mindset, and your habits. You can't control whether you'll succeed in every goal. You can control whether you show up and give your best effort every day. When you focus on what you can control, discipline becomes a natural response to life's challenges. You stop worrying about outcomes and start focusing on your actions. Example, you might not be able to guarantee success in your career, but you can control how hard you work, how consistent you are, and how you respond to setbacks. The disciplined Stoic focuses on effort, not results, because effort is within their power. It's easy to see discipline as restrictive, a set of rules that limit your freedom. But the Stoics viewed it as the opposite. They believed that discipline leads to inner freedom. Seneca once wrote, "Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power." When you lack discipline, you're not truly free. You're at the mercy of your impulses, your emotions, and your bad habits. You're trapped in cycles of procrastination, regret, and unfulfilled potential. But when you cultivate discipline, you're free from the regret of wasted time. You're free from the anxiety of unmet responsibilities. You're free to pursue your purpose without distraction. In short, discipline is not about punishment, it's about empowerment. Discipline requires us to make a bargain with the future. When you delay gratification, you are essentially making a trade, short-term discomfort for long-term rewards. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply when he wrote, Don't let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole. Don't try to picture everything bad that could possibly happen. Stick with the situation at hand. Every time you choose discipline, you are investing in your future self. Whether it's saving money instead of spending it, studying instead of scrolling through social media, or exercising instead of staying on the couch, each choice is a small deposit in the account of your future success. Ask yourself, what am I bargaining with right now? What future am I building through today's choices? The disciplined person understands that life is not a series of isolated moments. It's a chain of choices, each one building upon the last. 1. Discipline is self-mastery. It's about controlling your actions, not suppressing your desires. 2. Reason is your guide. Use it to evaluate your choices and act intentionally. 3. Focus on what's within your control, your effort, mindset, and habits. 4. Discipline leads to freedom, freedom from regret, fear, and chaos. 5. Every act of discipline is a bargain with your future self. Choose wisely. 6. As we move into the next chapter, we'll address why we struggle with discipline despite knowing its value and how the Stoics approached overcoming these obstacles. Epictetus, one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers, once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." At first glance, this quote might seem like a simple observation, but it carries a profound truth. Freedom and discipline are inseparable. Without discipline, you're not truly free. You're bound by your impulses, habits, and fleeting desires. For the Stoics, discipline wasn't about sheer willpower or brute force. It was about self-mastery. Self-mastery means having the clarity to differentiate between desires that serve you and those that enslave you. Imagine this scenario. You're sitting at your desk, trying to focus on an important task. Your phone lights up with a notification. In that moment, you face a choice. Option A, you pick up your phone, enjoy a few moments of distraction, and derail your focus. Option B, you resist the urge, stay focused, and make meaningful progress on your task. The undisciplined mind is a slave to option A. It reacts impulsively, chasing short-term pleasure at the expense of long-term gain. But the disciplined mind sees beyond the immediate gratification. It recognizes that every moment of focus, every act of resistance, is an investment in something greater. A common misconception about discipline is that it means suppressing every desire, denying yourself joy, or living a life of harsh restriction. But the Stoics saw it differently. Discipline isn't about eliminating desire. It's about prioritizing it. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." In other words, it's not desire itself that's the problem, it's unexamined desire. Discipline teaches you to ask, is this desire aligned with my long-term goals? Will acting on this impulse move me closer to or further from my purpose? Am I in control of my actions, or are my actions controlling me? When you answer these questions honestly, you start to see discipline not as a punishment, but as a tool that brings clarity, purpose, and direction to your life. One of the key insights of Stoic philosophy is that not all pleasures are worth pursuing. Some pleasures are fleeting, leaving behind regret and emptiness, while others bring lasting fulfillment. Marcus Aurelius warned against becoming a slave to pleasure. Do not let the future disturb you. You will meet it if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. The disciplined person doesn't reject pleasure entirely, they simply choose better pleasures. The pleasure of finishing a project instead of procrastinating. The pleasure of health and vitality instead of indulgence and regret. The pleasure of inner peace instead of external validation. Discipline allows you to see these choices clearly, free from the fog of impulse. At its core, discipline isn't just about achieving external goals, it's about shaping your inner world. Every time you exercise discipline, you are training your mind to become stronger, clearer, and more resilient. Think of discipline as a mental muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. The less you use it, the weaker it grows. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." When you cultivate discipline, you begin to notice something remarkable. You stop reacting emotionally to every setback. You start approaching challenges with calm determination. You gain a sense of control over your life, not because the world has changed, but because you have changed. Discipline as a long-term investment. Every moment of discipline is a choice to bargain with your future self. Consider this. Every time you save money instead of spending it frivolously, you're building financial security. Every time you exercise instead of skipping the gym, you're investing in your health. Every time you focus on meaningful work instead of distractions, you're building a life of purpose. The undisciplined mind lives in the now. It wants instant gratification, even at the cost of future pain. But the disciplined mind sees life as a series of choices, each one shaping the next. Key reflection. Are my daily habits serving my future self or sabotaging it? Am I choosing short-term pleasure over long-term fulfillment? The answers to these questions reveal whether discipline is guiding your life, or if you're drifting without direction. At its core, the nature of discipline is about honesty with oneself. It's about recognizing when you're making excuses, when you're avoiding discomfort, and when you're letting fleeting emotions dictate your actions. Epictetus challenges us. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? Discipline isn't a temporary effort, it's a lifelong practice. It's a commitment to self-respect, self-control, and self-improvement. Remember, discipline isn't about punishment. It's about empowerment. Discipline isn't about suppression. It's about alignment. Discipline isn't about restriction. It's about liberation. True freedom begins when you become the master of yourself. When you skip a workout, spend money frivolously, or procrastinate on important tasks, you are prioritizing immediate comfort over future well-being. In those fleeting moments, it feels harmless. One skipped workout won't ruin your health. One impulsive purchase won't bankrupt you. And one missed deadline won't end your career. But these small choices, repeated over time, create patterns that shape your life. Stoicism teaches us to see these moments not as accidents, but as choices. Every decision you make is a negotiation with your future self. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." What Marcus is telling us is simple. The world will always present distractions, temptations, and challenges, but the power to respond, to choose discipline over indulgence, action over avoidance, lies entirely within us. Every moment you are faced with a trade-off. Short-term pleasure versus long-term growth. Ease today versus fulfillment tomorrow. Distraction now versus achievement later. When you make a choice, you're making a bargain. You're spending the currency of your time, energy, and attention. Ask yourself, am I spending this moment wisely? Will this decision serve my future self? These are the questions a disciplined mind asks before acting. Our modern world is built to encourage instant gratification. Social media notifications, fast food, one-click purchases. They all promise immediate pleasure with minimal effort. But here's the Stoic truth. Instant pleasure often comes with long-term consequences. The comfort of skipping a workout today becomes the discomfort of poor health tomorrow. The pleasure of overspending now becomes the stress of financial insecurity later. The relief of procrastination today becomes the burden of missed opportunities tomorrow. Seneca warns us, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. In other words, the discomfort we fear from discipline, the workout, the effort, the delayed reward is rarely as painful as we imagine. But the regret of avoiding those moments? That regret can linger for a lifetime. Think of discipline as an investment account for your future self. Every disciplined action is a deposit into that account. When you exercise, you're depositing health into your future. When you save money, you're depositing security into your future. When you focus on meaningful work, you're depositing purpose into your future. Conversely, every skipped responsibility is a withdrawal. Every indulgence in fleeting pleasure is a debt. Over time, these deposits and withdrawals compound. And just like with finances, a small deposit made consistently will grow into something substantial, while repeated withdrawals can leave you bankrupt. Key reflection. Are my actions today deposits or withdrawals from my future well-being? One of the most significant teachings of Stoicism is to live without regret. But regret isn't avoided through avoidance, it's avoided through right action. Imagine your future self looking back on your life. Will they thank you for your discipline and commitment? Or will they resent you for your excuses and avoidance? Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Regret is heavy because it comes with the knowledge that you could have acted differently. You could have chosen discipline, but you didn't. You could have shown up, but you stayed in comfort. The Stoics understood this deeply. True peace of mind comes from knowing you acted with integrity, regardless of the outcome. At the heart of discipline lies the ability to delay gratification. It's the willingness to endure temporary discomfort for long-term gain. In Stoic terms, delayed gratification isn't about suffering, it's about choosing wisely. It's not about denying yourself joy, it's about pursuing deeper, lasting joy. Think of a farmer planting seeds. The farmer doesn't expect an immediate harvest. They know the process takes time, patience, and care. Your goals, your dreams, and your future well-being are no different. Each act of discipline is a seed planted in the soil of your life. Reflection exercise. Write down one area where you often choose short-term pleasure over long-term gain. Ask yourself, what would happen if I chose differently starting today? Discipline isn't something you achieve. Once it's something you choose, every single day. Each day you're faced with countless tiny bargains. To wake up early or hit snooze. To work on your goals or scroll endlessly on your phone. To speak honestly or hide behind excuses. These choices seem small, but over time, they shape the course of your life. Epictetus challenges us. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. In other words, decide what kind of person you want to become. Then act in alignment with that vision. Every day, every choice, every moment. 1. Every choice is a negotiation with your future self. 2. Instant gratification often comes with long-term consequences. 3. Discipline is an investment small deposits compound over time. 4. Regret is avoided through right action, not avoidance. 5. Delayed gratification is a skill that builds long-term fulfillment. 6. Discipline is not a one-time effort. It's a daily choice. When you realize that every choice is shaping your future, discipline stops feeling like a burden and starts feeling like self-respect. At first glance, the idea that discipline is freedom seems contradictory. After all, doesn't discipline mean restrictions, rules, and limitations? How can something that feels like restraint lead to liberty? But the Stoics understood a profound truth. Discipline is not the opposite of freedom, it is the foundation of it. Imagine two individuals. Person A lives without discipline. They follow every impulse, indulge every craving, and avoid every discomfort. Person B lives with discipline. They follow routines, delay gratification, and make deliberate choices. At first glance, person A might seem free. They can do whatever they want, whenever they want. But look closer and you'll see a different reality. Their finances are in chaos. Their health is deteriorating. Their goals remain unfulfilled. They are constantly anxious and regretful. They aren't free, they are slaves to their impulses. Now look at person B. They might have rules, routines, and self-imposed restrictions, but their life has clarity, purpose, and structure. They are not pulled in 100 different directions by fleeting whims. As Seneca said, no man is free who is a slave to his body. Without discipline, you're not free, you're just drifting, reacting and surviving. One of the greatest freedoms discipline offers is freedom from regret. Regret is a heavy burden. It's the weight of knowing you could have done better but didn't. The regret of skipping the workout. The regret of not saving money. The regret of wasted time. Discipline eliminates this burden because it ensures you act in alignment with your long-term goals. You might still face challenges, but you'll never face the regret of not trying, not showing up, or not giving your best effort. Ask yourself, when was the last time I felt regret over something I avoided out of laziness or fear? How would my life change if I acted with discipline, even in small moments? Discipline builds a life where regret has little room to grow. A life without discipline is chaotic. Tasks pile up. Responsibilities are neglected. Goals are forgotten. This chaos creates mental clutter, stress, and a constant sense of being overwhelmed. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us, order your soul, reduce your wants, live simply. Discipline brings order. It allows you to prioritize what matters and eliminate what doesn't. When your life has structure, your mind has peace. Example: a disciplined morning routine eliminates The chaos of rushing and forgetting important tasks. Disciplined financial habits. Eliminate the chaos of debt and financial insecurity. Order creates space for clarity, creativity, and purpose. Without discipline, you are at the mercy of your impulses. You eat not because you're hungry, but because you're bored. You scroll endlessly on your phone not because it's meaningful, but because it's easy. You avoid important tasks not because they're impossible, but because they're uncomfortable. Impulses are like invisible chains. They pull you in every direction, preventing you from making meaningful progress. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Discipline is the tool that breaks these chains. It gives you control over your mind, your habits, and your actions." Exercise. The next time you feel an impulse, e.g., to skip a task, procrastinate, or indulge unnecessarily, pause. Ask yourself, is this action serving my goals or sabotaging them? Choose deliberately, not impulsively. Every time you overcome an impulse, you reclaim a little more of your freedom. A disciplined person doesn't just act. They act with clarity. They know where they're going and why. When your actions are guided by discipline, you have a clear direction in life. You know what matters and what doesn't. You don't waste time on distractions or meaningless pursuits. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about your neighbors. Instead, be intent on following the path of wisdom and discipline. Discipline eliminates the fog of indecision and confusion. It sharpens your focus and aligns your actions with your purpose. The paradox of discipline is this: the more you restrict yourself from fleeting pleasures, the more meaningful pleasures you gain. The more you delay gratification, the more satisfying the reward. The more structure you create, the more freedom you experience. Imagine a musician practicing scales every day. At first, it feels repetitive and restrictive, but over time, that discipline gives them the freedom to create beautiful, improvised music. Discipline is not a prison, it's a path to liberation. Discipline is freedom. 1. Without discipline, you are not free. You are a slave to your impulses and desires. 2. Discipline grants freedom from regret by ensuring your actions align with your values. 3. Discipline brings order to your life, reducing chaos and stress. 1. Discipline frees you from the control of fleeting impulses and urges. 2. Through discipline, you gain clarity about your goals and purpose. 3. The paradox of discipline is that restriction creates the space for true freedom. Discipline is not a cage, it's a set of wings. It doesn't confine you, it liberates you. Understanding why discipline is hard is the first step to overcoming it. If discipline is so essential for success, fulfillment, and inner peace, why do so many of us struggle to maintain it? Why do we repeatedly choose fleeting pleasure over lasting satisfaction? The Stoics understood human nature deeply, and their insights can help us identify the obstacles standing between us and a disciplined life. Our brains are wired for instant gratification. In ancient times, when survival was uncertain, it made sense to prioritize immediate rewards, eat food when it's available, seek safety when danger arises, and rest when tired. But in the modern world, this survival mechanism works against us. Social media gives instant dopamine hits. Fast food satisfies hunger instantly. Streaming platforms provide endless entertainment at the click of a button. In contrast, discipline often requires delayed gratification. Exercising for months before seeing physical changes. Studying for years before earning a degree. Saving money consistently before achieving financial security. Epictetus warned us about this tendency when he said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Discipline asks us to think beyond the now. But our instincts constantly pull us back into the present moment, whispering, "Why wait when you can have it now?" Reflection exercise. Identify one area of your life where you regularly choose instant gratification. Ask yourself, what would happen if I delayed this gratification for a month? A year? The Stoic response to instant gratification is awareness, recognizing the temptation, pausing, and choosing the long-term path. Let's face it, discipline is uncomfortable. Waking up early feels difficult. Exercising feels exhausting. Saying no to dessert feels unsatisfying. But discomfort isn't inherently bad. It's often the price of growth. Seneca reminds us, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. The Stoics practiced voluntary, discomfort exposing themselves to controlled hardship to build resilience. Seneca would sleep on the floor and eat plain food to remind himself how little he needed to survive. Marcus Aurelius would rise early, despite his body's protest, because duty called. Modern society teaches us to avoid discomfort at all costs, but Stoicism teaches us to lean into it. Exercise. Do one small thing every day that makes you slightly uncomfortable. A cold shower, waking up earlier, or skipping a meal. Reflect. Did this discomfort break me, or did it make me stronger? Over time, you'll realize discomfort isn't an enemy, it's a teacher. One of the biggest obstacles to discipline is a lack of purpose. Without a compelling why, discipline feels pointless. Why wake up early? Why save money? Why exercise daily? Without a clear reason, the effort feels meaningless, and every temptation feels justified. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "People who labor all their lives but have no purpose to direct every thought and impulse toward are wasting their time." Even when hard at work, your why must be bigger than your excuses. Reflection exercise. Write down your top 3 long-term goals. Next to each goal, write why it matters to you. Whenever you struggle with discipline, revisit this list. When your why is clear, your actions gain direction, and discipline becomes less of a burden and more of a commitment to your purpose. Many people believe that discipline depends on motivation, but motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the weather. Discipline, on the other hand, is consistent action, regardless of how you feel. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." A disciplined person doesn't wait to feel like working. They simply work. They don't wait to feel like exercising. They put on their shoes and start moving. Key distinction. Motivation is an emotional state. Discipline is a decision. When you rely on motivation, you set yourself up for inconsistency. But when you build systems and habits around discipline, you become unstoppable. Practical tip. Set non-negotiable routines. For example, I will exercise every day at 7 a.m. no matter how I feel. When discipline becomes a habit, you no longer need motivation to act. Your surroundings play a huge role in your ability to stay disciplined. If your phone is within arm's reach while working, distractions are inevitable. If your fridge is stocked with junk food, late-night snacking is tempting. If your friends don't share your goals, you'll face constant peer pressure. The Stoics believed in controlling what's within your power, and your environment is one of those things. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Your environment shapes your thoughts, habits, and actions. Practical adjustments. Remove distractions from your workspace. Keep healthy food easily accessible. Surround yourself with people who encourage your discipline. A supportive environment makes discipline easier. It removes unnecessary friction from your path. Discipline often feels thankless in the beginning because results take time. You might not see visible results after 1 week of exercise. Your savings account won't grow significantly after 1 month of budgeting. This delayed reward discourages many people, causing them to give up prematurely. But the Stoics remind us, nothing great is achieved suddenly. It takes time, patience, and persistence. Progress compounds quietly in the background. Discipline requires faith. The faith that small, consistent efforts will eventually lead to great results. Reflection. Look at a past goal you achieved through consistent effort. Remind yourself, if I did it before, I can do it again. Why do we struggle with discipline? 1. The human brain prefers instant gratification. It takes awareness to resist it. 2. Discomfort isn't the enemy. It's a sign of growth. 3. Without a strong why, discipline feels meaningless. 4. Motivation is unreliable. Systems and habits sustain discipline. 5. Your environment shapes your behavior. Adjust it intentionally. 6. Results take time. Discipline is about persistence, not instant rewards. Understanding these obstacles is half the battle. Our brains are wired to seek instant gratification. Evolutionarily, this made perfect sense. In ancient times, survival depended on prioritizing immediate rewards. Food. Eat while it's available, because tomorrow's hunt isn't guaranteed. Safety. Seek shelter immediately when danger arises. Rest. Conserve energy when resources are scarce. In an uncertain world, Delaying gratification could mean missing out on survival. But today our world has changed drastically, while our brains have not. We no longer live under constant threats of predators or food scarcity, yet our minds remain trapped in this ancient wiring. The Stoic philosopher Seneca observed this timeless truth. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. This tendency to waste time often comes from our craving for instant satisfaction. In today's world, instant gratification is no longer about survival, it's about pleasure. Technology, entertainment, and convenience have turned this primal urge into a trap. Social media, a quick scroll gives you a dopamine hit, but leaves you empty afterward. Fast food, immediate satisfaction, long-term health consequences. Streaming services, endless content. Keeps you entertained but distracts you from meaningful goals. These modern conveniences are not inherently bad, but when they become compulsions, they sabotage your ability to pursue long-term goals. Ask yourself, how often do I prioritize what feels good right now over what will feel fulfilling later? What areas of my life suffer because of this tendency? The Stoics would remind us that true satisfaction doesn't come from indulging every impulse. It comes from mastering them. The appeal of now is powerful. After all, the pleasure is immediate. The effort is minimal. The discomfort is avoided. But there's a hidden cost to always prioritizing the present moment. Skipping one workout doesn't seem like a big deal. But skipping consistently builds a habit of neglect. Overspending on small pleasures doesn't feel catastrophic, but over time it leads to financial stress. Avoiding difficult tasks feels easier in the moment, but deadlines and regrets pile up. Seneca warns us about this. While we are postponing, life speeds by. Every choice you make today isn't isolated. It creates a ripple effect. Every moment of instant gratification steals a little from your future self. Key reflection. What future am I sacrificing for the comfort of this moment? When you start to see your choices as trades with your future self, it becomes easier to resist the pull of instant gratification. The Stoics recognized the pull of immediate pleasure, but they also knew it could be overcome. Their approach was rooted in awareness, reason, and intentional action. 1. Awareness of the impulse. The first step is recognizing the impulse when it arises. Don't act on it immediately. Pause, observe, and question it. Epictetus advises, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This means ignoring the opinions of others and focusing on your inner reasoning. 2. Negative visualization. Imagine the consequences of constantly giving in to impulses. What will your health look like if you always skip exercise? What will your financial future look like if you spend impulsively? By visualizing the negative outcomes, you create a stronger emotional resistance to impulsive choices. 3. The bigger picture. By visualizing the negative outcomes, you create a stronger emotional resistance to impulsive choices. The bigger picture. We avoid workouts because they're physically uncomfortable. We avoid difficult conversations because they're emotionally uncomfortable. We avoid challenging tasks because they're mentally uncomfortable. Modern comforts have made avoidance easy. Hungry? Fast food is minutes away. Bored? Entertainment is at your fingertips. Tired? The couch is right there. But every time you avoid discomfort, you sacrifice growth. You sacrifice an opportunity to become stronger, more resilient, and more disciplined. Seneca reminds us, it is in times of security that the spirit should be preparing itself for difficult times. While fortune is bestowing favors on it, then is the time for it to be strengthened against her rebuffs. Discomfort is not your enemy, it's your teacher. The Stoics didn't just talk about embracing discomfort, they practiced it. They deliberately exposed themselves to hardship to prepare their minds and bodies for life's inevitable challenges. Seneca's practice of voluntary discomfort. Seneca would occasionally sleep on the floor, wear simple clothing, and eat plain food. Why? To remind himself how little he truly needed to be content. That wealth and luxury were not necessary for happiness. That he could endure hardship if life ever forced it upon him. This wasn't about punishing himself, it was about strengthening his resilience. Reflection, exercise. What's one small discomfort you can introduce into your life this week? A cold shower? A day without social media? A workout that pushes you beyond your comfort zone. Each small discomfort builds mental toughness. preparing you for larger challenges ahead. Discomfort feels painful in the moment, but it often brings rewards that far outweigh the initial cost. Physical discomfort in exercise builds strength, health, and vitality. Mental discomfort in study or work builds knowledge, skill, and mastery. Emotional discomfort in difficult conversations builds trust, clarity, and deeper relationships. Every time you endure discomfort, you grow stronger. You build evidence for yourself that you can endure hardship and come out better on the other side. Epictetus reminds us, no man is free who is not master of himself. Mastering yourself means mastering your response to discomfort. To overcome the fear of discomfort, you must change your perspective. Instead of seeing discomfort as something to fear, see it as a challenge, an opportunity to test yourself. A teacher, an opportunity to learn something new. A tool, a way to build strength and resilience. Practical exercise. The next time you feel discomfort, physical, mental, or emotional, pause. Instead of avoiding it, ask yourself, what can I learn from this moment? How can I grow stronger through this discomfort? By leaning into discomfort instead of running from it, you start to see it as an ally, not an enemy. Avoiding discomfort might feel good in the moment, but it comes with a heavy price. Skipping the workout leads to poor health. Avoiding difficult tasks leads to procrastination and regret. Dodging hard conversations leads to broken relationships. Seneca warns us, it is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult. Every time you choose to avoid discomfort, you reinforce a habit of avoidance. But every time you face discomfort, you reinforce a habit of courage. The Stoics left us with practical tools for building resilience through discomfort. 1. Practice voluntary discomfort. Choose small, controlled hardships regularly. Skip a meal. Take a cold shower. Sleep without a blanket. Unvisualize the worst-case scenario. Remind yourself that discomfort is often less severe than you imagine. 2. Focus on the outcome, not the pain. Remember why you're enduring the discomfort. Think about the growth, strength, or goal on the other side. 3. Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge every moment where you face discomfort and push through it. Fear of discomfort. 1. Humans are wired to avoid discomfort, but this instinct often sabotages growth. 2. Discomfort isn't an enemy, it's a training ground for character and resilience. 3. Stoics like Seneca and Epictetus practiced voluntary discomfort to strengthen their minds and bodies. Though discomfort often carries hidden rewards, health, wisdom, and deeper relationships. 5. Avoiding discomfort comes with long-term consequences, regret, weakness, and missed opportunities. 6. By embracing small discomforts regularly, you build the strength to face life's larger challenges. One of the biggest reasons people fail to stay disciplined is not a lack of willpower or resources, it's a lack of purpose. Without a clear and compelling why, discipline feels hollow, like a series of arbitrary restrictions rather than a meaningful pursuit. Discipline, at its core, isn't about punishment, it's about alignment. It's about aligning your actions with your goals, your values, and your vision for your life. When your why is weak or unclear, every act of discipline feels like an uphill battle. But when your why is powerful, even the hardest tasks become bearable. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." This insight reveals a profound truth. When your purpose is clear, the struggle becomes worthwhile. Consider two people waking up at 5 a.m. every morning. Person A has no clear reason, other than a vague sense that waking up early is good. Person B wakes up early because they want to build a business that provides financial security for their family. Who do you think will sustain their discipline when the alarm clock rings? Without a why, every challenge feels pointless. With a why, every sacrifice feels meaningful. The Stoics emphasize the importance of self-examination. If you struggle with discipline, pause and ask yourself, 1. Why am I pursuing this goal? Is it for personal growth? Is it to improve the lives of others? Is it to honor a commitment to yourself? 2. Why is this worth the discomfort? What meaningful outcome lies on the other side of this struggle? How will achieving this goal change my life? 3. What happens if I give up? What will I lose if I stop trying? What regrets will I carry? Write down your answers. Don't keep them in your head, write them down. When discipline wavers, revisit these answers and remind yourself of your purpose. Reflection exercise. Write a letter to your future self, explaining why you're pursuing your current goals. Read it whenever you feel like giving up. In Stoic philosophy, telos refers to the ultimate purpose or end goal of something. Every action, every habit, and every sacrifice should point toward your telos. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about your neighbors. Instead, be intent on following the path of wisdom and discipline." What is your telos? Is it to live a life of wisdom and virtue? Is it to leave a meaningful legacy? Is it to fulfill your potential as a human being? When you align your discipline with your purpose, it stops feeling like restriction and starts feeling like freedom. When your why is clear, discomfort becomes a stepping stone, not a roadblock. Early mornings become easier when they're tied to your vision. Financial discipline feels rewarding when it's connected to a goal. Physical training feels meaningful when you see it as an investment in your health and longevity. Epictetus taught, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Your why gives your actions context. Without it, discipline feels like punishment. With it, discipline feels like an act of self-respect. When you connect every small act of discipline to your larger purpose, even the most mundane tasks become meaningful. When you lack purpose, procrastination feels justified. Temptations become harder to resist. Setbacks feel insurmountable. You'll find yourself asking, "What's the point of this?" Seneca warns us, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." Without a clear why, you drift. Your energy scatters. Your discipline weakens. If you're struggling to identify your why, start here. 1. Reflect on your values. What matters most to you? Family, health, creativity, service. Are your daily actions aligned with these values? 2. Visualize your ideal life. What does success look like to you? What habits and routines would your future self thank you for? Identify what scares you. What regrets do you fear the most? What would your life look like if you gave up on your goals? 4. Write it down. Create a written statement of your purpose. Keep it visible on your phone, your desk, or your mirror. When you act with discipline, you're not just avoiding distractions, you're being loyal to your purpose. Every time you wake up early, choose a healthy meal, stay focused on meaningful work, you are honoring your why. You're proving to yourself that your purpose is worth the effort. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Discipline isn't about grand gestures. It's about showing up every day, consistently, in alignment with your purpose. 1. Without a clear purpose, discipline feels like meaningless restriction. 2. Your why gives context and meaning to your sacrifices. 3. Ask yourself key questions. Why am I pursuing this goal? Why is this worth it? What happens if I give up? 4. In Stoicism, your telos, purpose, serves as your guiding star. 5. Purpose makes discomfort bearable because it connects sacrifice to meaningful outcomes. 6. Discipline becomes an act of loyalty to your purpose. Reflection. Question. What is your why? How can you remind yourself of it daily? When your why is clear, discipline transforms from a burden into a bridge that connects your present actions to your future vision. Set aside now, and then a number of days during which you will be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself all the while, "Is this the condition that I feared?" Seneca, one of the most powerful Stoic practices for building discipline is voluntary discomfort. It's the deliberate act of stepping outside your comfort zone, not out of self-punishment, but as a way to build mental and emotional resilience. Why voluntary discomfort works. It teaches you that discomfort is temporary and survivable. It reduces your dependence on external comforts for happiness. It prepares you mentally for life's inevitable hardships. In modern life, comfort is readily available. Warm beds, convenient food, endless entertainment. But comfort often breeds complacency, while discomfort breeds growth. Exercises for voluntary discomfort. 1. Skip a meal once a week. Learn that hunger isn't the end of the world. 2. Take cold showers. Build mental resilience through physical discomfort. 3. Go a day without your phone. Reclaim your attention and mental clarity. 4. Sleep. On the floor occasionally. Remind yourself how little you truly need to be comfortable. Reflection exercise. After completing an act of voluntary discomfort, ask yourself, was it as bad as I imagined? How did I grow from this experience? Over time, these small acts build a mindset capable of facing bigger challenges without fear or avoidance. You act like mortals in all that you fear and like immortals in all that you desire. Seneca. Negative visualization. Premeditatio malorum is a Stoic exercise where you imagine the consequences of failing to act with discipline. It's not about catastrophizing or becoming paranoid. It's about preparing your mind and strengthening your resolve. Why negative visualization works? It forces you to confront the real consequences of inaction. It strengthens your commitment to discipline by making the stakes clear. It reduces the emotional sting of potential failure by mentally preparing you for it. Questions for negative visualization. 1. What happens if I don't follow through on this commitment? Will I feel regret, shame, frustration? 2. What will my life look like if I continue down this undisciplined path? Will I achieve my goals? Will I respect myself? Example exercise. If you're tempted to skip a workout, pause and visualize. How will you feel tomorrow knowing you gave in to laziness? What happens if skipping workouts becomes a habit? Fear, when channeled correctly, becomes a motivator, not a paralyzer. Negative visualization isn't about living in fear of failure. It's about using the clarity of consequences to fuel your actions today. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. One of the foundational principles of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control. The idea that there are things you can control and things you cannot. When it comes to discipline, focusing on what you can control ensures that your energy isn't wasted on external factors beyond your influence. What you can control: your actions, your habits, your mindset, your effort. What you cannot control: other people's opinions, unexpected setbacks, the outcome of your actions. By focusing only on your actions and mindset, you remove the frustration and anxiety that come from trying to control the uncontrollable. Practical applications of this principle. 1. Show up daily. Discipline isn't about grand gestures, it's about consistency. Show up every day, even if you don't feel like it. 2. Complete one task at a time. Multitasking scatters your focus. Prioritize one task and complete it before moving on. Stay consistent even when motivation fades. Motivation is fleeting, but consistency builds habits. Reflection exercise. When you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, is this within my control? What's one action I can take right now to move forward? When you focus on what's in your control, every action becomes a deliberate choice rather than a reaction. The Stoics valued routine as a way to eliminate unnecessary decision-making and conserve mental energy for what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius had a daily practice of reflection and journaling, while Seneca emphasized the importance of structuring one's day around meaningful activities. Why routines matter. They reduce decision fatigue. They create predictability and stability. They ensure progress happens consistently, not sporadically. Example: Stoic-inspired routine. Morning. Start the day with intentional reflection, e.g., journaling or meditation. Midday. Take short breaks for clarity and self-check-ins. Evening. Reflect on your day. Did your actions align with your purpose? Small daily habits for discipline. Set a fixed wake-up time. Plan your day the night before. Create non-negotiable blocks of time for your most important goals. How to cultivate discipline. The Stoic practices. 1. Practice voluntary discomfort. Small acts of discomfort build resilience and mental toughness. 2. Use negative visualization. Imagine the consequences of inaction to strengthen your resolve. Focus on what's in your control. Pour your energy into actions, not outcomes. 4. Show up daily. Discipline is about consistency, not occasional bursts of effort. 5. Create a routine. Eliminate unnecessary decisions to conserve mental energy. Discipline isn't a single act, it's a lifestyle. It's not about grand gestures or occasional bursts of motivation. It's about the small, consistent choices you make every day. The Stoics understood that discipline isn't something you do, it's something you become. To build a life governed by discipline, you must create habits, systems, and routines that guide your actions effortlessly, aligning your daily behavior with your higher purpose. 4.1 Small Daily Wins. Well-being is realized by small steps, but it is truly no small thing. Zeno of Titium. Big goals often feel overwhelming. The sheer size of the task can lead to paralysis, procrastination, or even abandonment. But the Stoics remind us that greatness isn't built in a day, it's built through small, consistent actions. Why small wins matter? They create momentum. They build confidence. They reinforce your identity as a disciplined person. Focus on winning each day. Instead of obsessing over the end goal, ask yourself, did I make progress today? Did I act in alignment with my principles? Every small win, waking up on time, completing a task, resisting a temptation, contributes to the bigger picture. Practical exercise. At the end of each day, write down 1. One thing you did well. 2. One area where you could improve. 3. One commitment for tomorrow. These daily reflections keep you focused on consistent growth rather than perfection. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Seneca. Even the most disciplined individuals don't act in isolation. The Stoics valued the importance of accountability, not only to themselves, but to others. Why accountability matters? It creates external motivation. It fosters honesty about your struggles. It provides support and guidance during difficult times. Find an accountability partner. Choose someone you trust, someone who will encourage you but also hold you to your standards. Share your goals openly. Set regular check-ins to review your progress. Accountability isn't about judgment, it's about support. The simple act of knowing someone else is aware of your goals creates an added layer of commitment. Join a group aligned with your goals, e.g., a fitness group, study group, or professional network. Share weekly updates with your accountability partner. In Stoic terms, accountability is about living transparently and courageously in the pursuit of your ideals. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for? Oh, the things I was brought into the world to do? Marcus Aurelius. Discipline thrives in structure. A daily routine removes unnecessary decision-making, conserves mental energy, and ensures your actions align with your priorities. Why routine matters? It reduces decision fatigue. It builds consistency through repetition. It creates a sense of stability and predictability. Build a disciplined routine. 1. Wake up at the same time every day. Start your day with intention, not reaction. 2. Schedule deep work sessions. Block out time for focused, uninterrupted work. 3. Plan your day the night before. Eliminate morning indecision by setting clear priorities. Reflection exercise. Write down your ideal daily routine. Identify one habit you can implement immediately. Stick to it for 1 week and evaluate your results. Your routine shouldn't feel like a prison. It should feel like a framework for freedom. The Stoic bargain with the future. At its core, discipline is a commitment to your future self. It's about recognizing that your actions today are building the foundation for your tomorrow. Discipline is not punishment, it's self-respect. Choosing discipline isn't about denying yourself joy, it's about honoring your potential. Every disciplined choice is an act of self-respect, a signal to yourself that you are worthy of growth, success, and fulfillment. Every moment of discipline is a step towards freedom. When you resist distraction, you gain focus. When you delay gratification, you gain long-term satisfaction. When you act with intention, you gain peace of mind. Your actions today shape your tomorrow. You are always negotiating with your future self. Each choice is a trade. Will you invest in your health or indulge in fleeting pleasure? Will you save for financial security or spend impulsively? Will you work towards your goals or let distractions steal your time? Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Discipline isn't about grand heroic acts. It's about showing up every day with intention, focus, and courage. Final reflection. What small act of discipline can I commit to today? How can I honor my future self through my actions? The Stoic call to action. Take control of your mind. Bargain wisely with your future. Embrace discipline not as a restriction, but as the ultimate form of liberation. Discipline isn't something you achieve. It's something you practice. Every day, every moment, every choice is an opportunity to live with integrity and purpose.